Taking a look at the future of the NBA offseason, there's some really notable names coming up during this 2024 free agency. This list includes none other than Klay Thompson, James Harden, Pascal Siakam, DeMar DeRozan, and many more. One name, though, stands out to me in particular. He's an all-star and a borderline all-NBA talent at the height of his playing career. He's just 26 years old, and this season he's been boasting the most impressive numbers of his short NBA career, and he's currently in a situation where he's not the happiest player in the league. That man is Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown this season is averaging 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists as the Boston Celtics sit as the 2 seed, just 3 games behind the dominant Milwaukee Bucks. Jaylen has shown that his ability is only going to continue to grow offensively, as like I mentioned before, he's averaging the best stats of his short NBA career. In games without Jason Tatum, he's also shown the ability to completely take over games and be the #1 option and leader. In a near 45-point blowout where he recorded 41 points and 13 rebounds. He's also had 2 other 40-point games, one of which was against the Cavs on a back-to-back, which they did lose, but during both of these games, Tatum was ruled out, so it's clear to see his offensive ability just skyrockets and his leadership ability just skyrockets when Tatum is not there. However, how pleased he is with his current situation in Boston is a different story. In an article published on March 21st of 2023, linked with the media outlet The Ringer, Jaylen Brown was found saying, "I don't know," in a response to whether or not he'd like to stay in Boston long term. Taking it back a few months, you all must remember the Kevin Durant trade saga. From July to August of last year, there were numerous teams trying to take a stab at trading for either Donovan Mitchell or Kevin Durant. One of these teams with their names in the hat was none other than the Boston Celtics, and they offered the likes of Jaylen Brown, despite the fact of the duo of himself and Jason Tatum were just coming off their first finals appearance and their duo's tenure. Say what you want about this, but no player, let alone all-star caliber player, feels good about the lack of security in their job. Jaylen was found confiding in The Ringer in that same article saying, "It's hard coming into teams and organizations being warm. They operate on a different principles. I think this is an organization. They look at it as a business where they'll tell you one thing and then behind closed doors they'll say another and they'll trade you off, tell you we love you, and they'll be having like we're going to trade him next week. I think that's just how business is run." It's sad to say, but Jaylen is completely right. Teams will tell you whatever they want to tell you in the midst of winning or successor seasons, but then the second things get rough, the second a better prospect like Kevin Durant is on the horizon, they're willing to tell you to pack your bags and send you home out of nowhere. It's not very often you get a CJ McCollum-like trade where the Blazers came to CJ and said, "Hey, this duo of you and Damian Lillard, it's not working out. Give us a short list of your teams or destinations you'd like to go to and we can see what works." More often than not, it happens this way where you're just traded out of the blue. The duo of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is one that is quite polarizing. They've been a clear Jason's the #1 and Jaylen's the #2 option for a long time, and they've reached the Eastern Conference Finals together in Jason's first season and in the 2020 bubble season before losing to the Miami Heat in a 6-game series. And now this last season, the most important one, they were having the most incredible second half of quite possibly any NBA team ever, and they made the NBA Finals and they lost to 6 versus the Warriors. Right as they're starting to get a taste of what winning might feel like, controversy and contract extensions start to hit. Throughout this entire process, Jason has been pretty honest about the potential Jaylen brings to this team. In a meeting between Jason, Jaylen, and general manager / former coach Brad Stevens, Jason said, "We need him. He's a big part of this team, this franchise. Without him, we can't reach our goal." Despite the encouragement and confidence Jason is putting into this duo, I don't think Jaylen is reciprocating it very much, and not in a rude way either. The potential rift between Jaylen and Jason isn't nearly as bad as the rift between Jaylen and Boston Celtics fan in general. He's been found on multiple occasions saying that the fans are tremendously toxic, and he's even liked tweets insinuating that Boston Celtics fans have been disrespecting him too much, not only as a player but a person. person. All in all, I think the way the remainder of this season plays out is going to say a lot about the future of where Jaylen Brown rests his head. He's growing into one of the most gifted players in the entire league and has founded himself as the number 2 option on one of the most talented rosters in basketball. While he's often looked like as a Robin to Tatum's Batman, he may want to become his own man and have his own role in leadership, similar to how Kyrie Irving felt playing under LeBron James back on those numerous Cleveland Cavaliers teams. Jaylen is up for contract at the end of the season, and he's in for a big payday. There's no doubt in my mind that Boston will give it to him as well. I'm just curious to see what other NBA teams try to pry him from the Celtics. These other teams won't go down swinging, and I don't blame them. I just hope that Jaylen doesn't end up in a rift of mediocrity in which he gets up and leaves this roster and tries to contend, but he can't possibly recruit other talent. Because let's be honest, the NBA is a league full of parity, and it's not a one superstar standalone team anymore. You look at the best teams in each conference, and even the top 4 or 5 teams in each conference, all of them are layered with plus 20 point per game scorers and/or all-star and/or superstar talents. There's only one man in the NBA, Nikola Jokic, that really is leading a team to a tremendous victory or win percentage without the likes of other superstar or all-star players. And the fact is, Nikola Jokic hasn't seen much success in the postseason like the Boston Celtics have. He's only made it to the Western Conference Finals before losing to the Lakers. But what do you guys think? Is Jaylen Brown going to sign with the Celtics, or is he going to be the biggest fish caught during next season's free agency? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys made it this far, as always, you know I appreciate your support. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay happy, healthy, and blessed. Peace.